Well, Nintendo has found themselves in it today. It's not going well. The reception to, well, an announcement that took place. And at first it was like, okay, we're getting a release date for a game and we're hearing more about it later this week and just details in general getting out there for a new Pokemon game, Piccopia. And while when it was first shown, it was clear, at least to me, it wasn't necessarily a game that was being developed for me. I still looked at it and said, it's different. They're branching out. They're trying something new. And I'm sure Pokemon fans out there will end up getting a kick out of it. Great. They're heading into 2026 with another spinoff to look forward to. Well, things quickly changed today. And the backlash is quick and fierce because it has to do with game key cards. But it's a bit of a different situation since we're looking at this completely in a different light with Nintendo being at the helm of a game key card. And so far the trends this to start the Switch 2 generation have really not indicated that was going to be a thing. But this could be changing a lot, and we're going to take a look at that here today. So if you guys enjoyed the video, hit the like button, subscribe if you're new. Now, you guys know my stance on game key cards. Not really interested in them at all. I mean, I have Street Fighter 6 because we looked at it in a video, just opening up the cartridge, going over some of those aspects to it. But for the most part, when I see game key card, I go, I think I'm good. Although if it's a game that I want to pick up, I might look at it digitally. I'm not really one to go around selling all these games that I get or anything. I did that when I was younger, trading stuff in, and I just fully regret it looking back on the mountains of GameCube games I'm sure that I traded in. And don't even get me started on the Super Nintendo games. But for me, the idea of game key cards, it's just not really something where the benefits heavily outweigh a lot of the problems with it, to where even convenience is a big one, because digitally, I mean, if you're going to download the whole game and it's going to sit on your system, hey, I may as well be able to jump back and forth between them easily without removing a dummy card to do so. But while third parties, it's kind of almost expected now. It's like, it's amazing if it's not a game key card at this point. We thought we were kind of, I guess safe would be the word to use when it comes to Nintendo, but take a look at this. This is over on Nintendo Life, and it was funny, the timeline of events here. All right, so Nintendo put up a video, and the video was all about trying to explain game key cards. And I don't know if Nintendo thinks that's the problem. People don't understand game key cards. No, the people they're speaking to with that video understand game key cards. Now, there are many people out there, I'm sure, who are going to be checking out the Switch 2 this holiday season for the first time and don't know what a game key card is. And that makes sense for a video there. But the people who are going to hit that video immediately, they know what they're getting into when they hear or see game key cards, whether it's on a store shelf somewhere now with this big white banner, or just hear people talking about it. Well, in that video, you could see Pokemon Piccopia came up, little sample word across there. So people were wondering, wait a minute, maybe that's not going to be a game key card. And for whatever reason, they have decided to just use it here as an example. Even though they could have used a number of other games, even third-party ones, throw it in there. Hey, here's what game key card, here's what it means exactly, right? And here, I mean, they even have it down to 10 gigabytes is what you'll need for Piccopia. In fact, we go over to, this is the product information page for it. They go over everything here, including that 10 gigabytes. They mention that it is a key card. Now, this would be in Japan, and this is the one thing people are trying to figure out. They're like, wait, in Japan, it's published by the Pokemon Company. Everywhere else outside of Japan, it's published, I guess, by Nintendo. And maybe that means that other regions will just have everything on the cartridge. It won't be a game key card. And we have seen that play out in some cases where third-party games, like in Japan, will be game key cards, but then outside of Japan, I think Marvelous ran into that. I feel like with a couple of their releases, we have seen differences though between regions, game key card or everything on the cartridge itself. But at least here, looks like right now it is a game key card. And then it gets even weirder because game key cards, some of the benefits to it for developers, the read-write speeds, that's been brought up. The ability to fit the game on the Switch 2 when the cartridge isn't large enough. Remember, it's 64 gigabytes. We're seeing games that already eclipse that in terms of file size. It wouldn't exist then. They'd say, oh, okay, I guess we can go all digital with no retail facing. What does that mean for us? But here they can do that. So those are two legitimate reasons I see brought up. It's like, all right, look, it's it just wouldn't work otherwise. The pricing side is something that comes up that I'm sorry, it's just you're gonna have a hard time convincing people that like that is the main reason why. Oh yeah, the cost factor, because you feel like you can charge more money for it if it's all in the cartridge. We've seen that too. So here you go, oh well, maybe Piccopia is like a $50 game or something. Well, when I saw this store page go up and it's $70, I was like, whoa, Nintendo's on one right now. And it's Nintendo and the Pokemon Company. I know Nintendo is just like part of the Pokemon Company with Creatures and Game Freak and stuff, trying to figure all this out. This would have been a moment where you kind of tap them on the shoulder if you're Nintendo and you go, guys might be getting a little out there right now with this. So when I see $70 and then I see Game Key Card, and then I look at the Pokemon Company, I go, hold on. Yeah, you might have lost it a little bit here. So the backlash, I completely understand at this point, because if this were 40 or $50, like Final Fantasy VII Remake, I think that one's getting kind of let off the hook a bit for Game Key Card because it's more than 64 gigabytes and it's also $40. So you kind of at least understand a bit, and you might go, you know what? They're also including some stuff in the package with it, with that Game Key Card. They're dressing it up a bit. This doesn't feel like they're meeting you halfway anywhere. It's like Game Key Card, $70 price point, and that's it. And of course, we know it is a 10 gigabyte game download. Could have fit on the 64 gigabyte cartridge, but the game itself, again, I know there are Pokemon fans out there who are like, hey, this looks fun. I like the idea of kind of this farming life sim thing where Pokemon show up and they hang out with you and help you build up this Stardew Valley kind of experience, I guess. But it doesn't really look like a game that would warrant, say, a $70 price tag and then a Game Key Card, just outright. It's Pokemon, I understand. But it's still like, oh, 70 for that. Okay, we're pushing it. And then, of course, this has brought up a whole bunch of other questions. Because if you have Game Key Cards now, maybe being an option for Nintendo, it is also just cheaper for these companies to use Game Key Cards. We know that. Nintendo likes money. They are a company. So what happens now? Does this mean going forward that we could see Nintendo attempt this for a game that they put out that's wholly owned by them? All right. Could the next Legend of Zelda game, maybe that does eclipse 64 gigabytes, but maybe it's like 50 something and they go, you know, we could make this work with a Game Key Card and it's $80 or something. That is the question now. How far is this going to go? Is Pokemon Gen 10, are those going to be 2 Game Key Cards? Are they going to say, you know what, we'll make it all in the cartridge, but you saw we needed $70 for the Game Key Cards, so these are going to be $80 a piece. There are so many questions right now around the future here with Nintendo because of Piccopia, which is not a game that I was expecting to kind of set this new trend and something to keep in mind for Nintendo with physical game cards. But here we are. And I had mentioned that while hardware for the Switch 2 would certainly be, I think, exceeding expectations with that 15 million that was originally in place, it has done that. Nintendo's pushed it up to 19 million in the fiscal year. The software side did not get as much of a bump. And people have been asking if the Game Key Card stuff would have an overall effect on Nintendo's bottom line. And I think it's still too small of a sample size to really try to put it together. But I mean, you can see even Bloomberg with Takashi Machizuki, who does put out some, we'll say his articles, reports get reactions online, but he did say Nintendo's software sales aren't keeping up with hardware boom. And if you do look at it right now, it's about a 2-to-1. So for every one Switch 2 that sells, 2 games go along with it. And we know, I mean, one of the big sellers for Nintendo with the Switch 2 is the Mario Kart World bundle. So you can look at that and go, okay, well, Mario Kart World accounts for one of those 2 and then one other game with it. So that's something we still need to see, especially throughout the holiday season, how people will respond to things like Game Key Cards. Will they opt for the digital version? Will they just go ahead and say, you know what, I'm giving a gift for this. I need something to put under the tree or to wrap up, so I'll go ahead and just buy the Game Key Card and call it a day. It's something to at least keep an eye on here as we go forward. But this, I mean, it was a bit of a shock to the system for a lot of people to see Nintendo not only, again, push the Game Key Card more and more with that recent trailer that got downvoted into oblivion, as you'd expect, but also kind of just go along with, I guess, the Pokemon Company here outside of Japan and it looks like, at least for now, going with a game key card for, well, a game that's partially first party there, along with the Pokemon Company. But let me know what you guys think about this one down below. And are there concerns going forward if Nintendo will tap game key cards maybe further into the generation with a much larger, fully first party game? Thanks guys for watching, and I'll see you next time.